Welcome to a special bonus episode of the Passive House podcast, recorded at North American Passive House Network's conference, Passive House for All, in June 2021 in New York City. In this, the 14th of 18 interviews we recorded amidst the hustle and bustle of the conference hall floor, Kevin Brennan switches the script and interviews me. So, a couple of quick thank yous before we get started. First, thanks to NAPHN for putting on the conference and for partnering with us on these interviews. Second, a big thank you to our sponsors who make all our work at the Accelerator possible. Our founding sponsors are 475 High Performance Building Supply, Baxter Architects, Glavel, Minotaur, Mitsubishi Electric Train HVAC US, Partel, RDH Building Science, Rockwell North America, Stocorp, and Zola Windows. Our champion sponsor is SIGA, and our stakeholder partner is NYSERDA, the New York State Energy Research and Development Authority. So, with that, please enjoy Kevin's interviewing skills.
Welcome to North American Passive House 2021. Good to see you, Zack.
Yeah, hey, thanks, Kevin. It's great to be here with you.
We've switched these roles. I am now the interviewer.
I'm nervous.
And you're the interviewee.
Yeah.
So, my first question is, if you had a superpower, what would it be and why?
Oh my God. The superpower, what would it be and why? Mind control.
Okay.
So that I could sweep in and control the minds of all the decision makers to align public policy to accelerate the transition to high performance buildings and passive house.
Nice. That's a good answer. Wow. Superhero. That sounds pretty fun.
It would be, yes, it would be
Now,
fun.
when you're in there, are you like recording data or what's happening, or like what's happening behind
I would be totally responsible when I was in those brains. Absolutely. Well, I can't totally guarantee that with all the decision makers, but you know.
It's like that iPhone commercial now where everyone's following you on your phone and then they just stop it, the new policy. But I think the conference is great. It's good to see the Accelerator interviewing everyone. And
yeah, and the being able to do the interviews has been really cool. Unlike any conference I've ever attended, of course. It's an excuse, really, to have these deeper conversations with people. And it's a little bit of a pressure cooker because we've got the bright lights and we're, kind of very
people
visible.
Walking in the background.
So people are it's just very incisive and that's been really fun. I haven't been able to see as many of the sessions as
They're all recorded.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm telling myself. But the ones I've seen have been great, and there are definitely some common themes that are coming through. First of all, everyone's really happy to actually be able to interact in person, and then everyone's super clear that this needs to scale up and be accessible to everybody, and understand that that's going to require learning on our part. Around we're all on this journey toward centering equity in the work that we do, and we're in different places, probably each of us individually and as organizations, and so we've got a lot of work ahead. There's also a real understanding that passive house doesn't need to be more expensive than conventional construction. That if you kind of dial that in as a focus, as in the design process at the very beginning, that you can figure out how to do these projects at cost parity. So a lot of and the other thing is just this bubbling up of innovative approaches and prefab and machine learning and all that kind of stuff has been fun to hear about and hear practitioners talk about how that's impacting their work and actually is now truly a tool for them.
Yeah, so, that's all exciting.
Yeah.
It's also great to see everyone in person, and when COVID first hit, I was like, oh man, we're going to lose our momentum of a community, and I think it's pushed us a little further,
Yeah.
Between
I think
the Wednesday, the happy hour, and the Tech Tuesday. I almost feel like I may have gained more
Yeah, it's really odd.
Then like I expected to like we lost a few years of conferences and learning and not many opportunities, but at the same time, like I feel like I learned more in these past year than I would have if we were like doing things business as usual.
I feel like that too, and having done that, then the chance to reconnect is also. Like I also recognize how much I value that. So it's like we have, and I think that one of the things I was talking with Ken about is that when we're at a conference, it's a little bit easier maybe to have that kind of serendipitous learning that you wouldn't, like the unplanned thing that you didn't necessarily seek out. Like I feel like when we have the happy hours in construction tech, there are a lot of people who are judicious about their time. They're thinking about, okay, I want to go seek out this particular program, this thing. And when you're at a conference, sometimes you just like stumble into a session that you wouldn't necessarily stumble into, or you're in a part of a conversation, and some group thinking and bouncing off each other happens. And I mean, we work to replicate that, of course, in our breakout rooms at the accelerator, and which is great, and we'll continue to do so. But it's cool. It's nice to be able to do both, I guess. Yeah. That's all. It's a long-winded way of saying it's nice to do both. Yeah.
It is nice to be back. And the tours, I think the tours are a great opportunity.
Yeah, right.
Like every time I go to the Passive House conferences, the tours are kind of like the great opportunity to see how other people are doing things and get behind the curtain and see what they're using, how they're using it. So
yeah, totally. I'm looking forward to, I mean, I know Michael's work mainly virtually, although I'm staying at his house right now. I get to be sleeping in his Passive House guest room, which is really awesome. But the Sendero Verde project as well tomorrow that I can't wait to see. Yeah, it's going to be cool for sure.
It's cool construction. It's cool to see the city grow, and more and more passive houses happening. So I say we do a chair spin and
oh, that's a good idea. Passive House for all.
I hope you enjoyed that special bonus episode of the Passive House podcast. On behalf of everyone here at the Passive House Accelerator, thank you for listening, and stay tuned for more on the Passive House podcast. Thank you. Bye-bye.